Name game. Name game. Name game. Name game. Name game. We're in the money. Name game.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. I am Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. And it is Thursday, where we are playing The Long Dark. It's our Mac Thursday, and we're long darking it. And I have so much to talk to you all about. It's just like a lot that I have to talk to you about. But the first thing I have to talk to you all about, right, is the name game. Hi, it's really nice to see everybody here. Because I didn't get to stream any of my streams last week. Yeah, none of them, because I had an epic problem with OBS, and it is still not. It's fixed, but it is not. My setup is awkward at the moment. I have to do everything by hand, and I realized that I have to actually redo some of my sessions, but it's fine. All of that will be taken care of. Well, some of that will be taken care of tonight. But before we talk about all the things I want to talk about, we have some resubs and also some bits, and I feel like we all know what that means. What that means is the name game. I've missed you all.
We're in the money.
Oh, speaking of which, I feel like that could be a little bit louder. Although, I don't know if that's me who could be, like, I might just turn up my, Time of Gift says, Pendragon Knight, then up and spake my elder knight, sat at the king's right knee after Sir Patrick spends. Aw, now I feel like I can turn my volume down just a little bit. That feels a little bit better to me. Great. So, look, I've got a lot to talk to you all about, but we'll do that while we're working on Steam Tunnel puzzles. First, though, I want to thank everybody who has resubbed. We have our hype train. We're level 3 hype train. We're like 95%. That's amazing. To thank everyone who has resubbed. I must, if you do not mind, say the following. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter
We're
of the
in the
name. I treat her like it wasn't there. You know what? I do not like that location. I'm in the process of I had to redo a bunch of stuff. So we're going to, by the way, I'm going to finish that thought, but I want that alert box not there, but over here is where I would like it. And we'll just make it a little bit bigger, and then we'll put it right there. Thank you. Where was I? So the first letter of the name, I treated like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F, or an M will appear. And then I say bo at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and fo. Then I say the name again with an F very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Krellin, 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 Bobellin, Banana, Fana, Fofelin, Fee, Fa, Mo, Melon. Krellin, Voltiel, 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 Bobaltiel, Banana, Fana, Fofaltiel, Fee, Fa, Mo, Maltiel. Voltiel, Hawkeye, 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 Bobakeye, Banana, Fana, Fofakeye, Fee, Fa, Mo, Markeye. Hawkeye, Cake bite, cake bite, cake bite, bo bake bite, banana, fana, fo fake bite, fee, fi, mo, make bite. Cake bite, Donal, 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 bo bonal, banana, fana, fo fonal, fee, fi, mo, monal. Donal, now I want a donut, But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both, then say the name. I like Bob, Bob drop the B's, Bo, Ob, or Fred, Fred drop the F's, Fo, Red, or Mary, Mary drop the M's, Mo, Airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Boys games, boys games, boys games, boys games, banana, fana, for voice games, fee, fi, mo, moist games. Boys games, Josh Meanart, Josh Meanart, Josh Meanart, Bo Bosh Meanart, Banana Fana, for Fosh Meanart, Fee Fi, Mo Mosh Meanart. Josh Meanart, Mythematic, Mythmatic, Mythmatic, Bo Bithmatic, Banana Fana, for Fifthmatic, Fee Fi, Mo Ithmatic. Mythmatic, Demolition, 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 Bo Demolition, Banana Fana, for Femolition, Fee Fi, Mo Memolition. Demolition, Critical Watcher, Critical Watcher, Critical Watcher, Bobitical Watcher, Banana Fanico, Fitical Watcher, Fee Fi, Momitical Watcher. Critical Watcher, the name game. By the way, time of gifts, Bobama gifts, Banana Fana, for time of gifts, Fee Fi, Mo mime of gifts. Time of gifts, the name game. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to sing all those name games. I haven't sung name games in like way too long, and I'm very excited to be doing it right now. Also, I think I'm a little too high. Whoop. I have to like switch my seat height depending on which camera I'm using. It's just a thing. I wouldn't worry about it. It's cool. It's cool. Thank you, everybody, for those resubs. Let me see if we got some really exciting resub messages, because I feel like that's important. Hawkeye says, time has gone by too quickly for it to be this long so soon. I know. That's ridiculous. I've got my 6-year streamiversary happening next month. What is that? I don't even know. And then we also got some bits. And I feel like we need to have a discussion about that, you know? Let's see. Hey, DSB. DSB had a thought for you. How long have you been singing for? Just like a second. Did you do something to your hair or the books behind you? Well, I don't really have hair because I shave it. And the books behind me, I got a couple more Traveler books, but nothing really special has happened. I've got some books in those boxes I still need to unpack and put up there. Actually, probably in the shelf above it. But, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're on the way. So let me see. Oh, DSB says you're getting mochi donuts. I love mochi donuts. I've only had one once, and it is amazing. I just need you all to know it. Also, hey, look, new emote. I'm very excited. I didn't have that one yet. Let's see. It is time for the Earwig song, by the way. You don't have that RuneQuest book on display anymore. I think that's the RuneQuest book is. So here's the thing about display. You can really only see which books I have on display when I'm on this camera. When I'm on this camera, then you see the full bookshelf because it's parallel to the bookshelf. At the moment, I've got Mazes on display, but you can't really see it from here, this angle. But from this angle, you can see my windows, but you can't see the full bookshelf. By the way, that display space is probably going to go away once I finish unpacking all of my RPG books. But they are, yes. Because, at this moment, none of my GURPS books are out. And the last time when I had everything out, GURPS took up one entire half of that bookshelf, and then D&D took the other entire half of the bookshelf. And so then all the other RPGs were on this shelf. But, however, I've got a bunch more. So what I'm thinking is that GURPS and D&D will be on this shelf, and then all the rest of the RPGs will be on these two shelves. And I might have a little bit of space left over for a little bit of display, which would be really nice. And then all of my manga and comic books will go up on a shelf that you cannot currently see. And then I've got a bunch of French Resistance, military history books, etc., and those may go on the shelf above it, or they'll stay in the bookshelves I have in the living room. We will see. It is, Clockwork Librarian, it is so easy to accumulate GURPS source books. I also had a thought about something that I wanted to share with you all. It was something I was thinking about. Also, I have more things to share with you. But first, though, we did get some bits, and those bits were full of cheers. And when we get full of cheer, also I want to tell you about my audio setup, but when we get full of cheer, I sing We're in the Money, as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933, which means I sing it in Pig Latin. Also, I just feel weird being this, but I feel like my height's fine, but it just feels weird. So I'm going to sing that right now. I'm going to sing We're in the Money, using my old-timey megaphone because that's the best thing ever. Also, I have to tell you something else. I have to tell you 1,000 things, everybody. But first. Earway and hey, the anime. Earway and hey, the anime. Ewe at gale at way at wakes to utit gale ang wayo. Earway and hey, the anime. Either ice skates are on say. Old man, the 80 pray, ooh, yare, ooh, three, was stay on me hungry, you ever need bread lands, I've weighed brands, ooh, tay day. And we see the end, the order will look like the eye, get right in the eye, we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I want to thank Rissa and Skebenak for those bits. Thank you. Y'all. So much to talk about. Also, by the way, I feel like we should do a video game giveaway today. And I feel like we should do that. I just have to figure out what we're going to do. Let's see. What have we not done? We have not done... Hello Neighbor and Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which is an indie adventure strategy game, and that's going to be our giveaway today, which we'll do in an hour or so, something like that, an hour-ish. Fat fingers and tiny buttons are no good. You were saying chair. That's fair. Okay, y'all. So we're going to do a giveaway. I have 1,000 things to tell you. I'm very excited about all the things. And some of the things are not exciting, but I'm in a kind of an excitable space. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop over to our game screen, and then we're going to chat about all the things. Yes. Also, while this is happening, we need to talk about things. We've got things to talk about, and I'm going to want some feedback from you all, or just some thoughts, just as we're doing. So we are playing The Long Dark. I want to be taller. I know that it's not the best for the... there we go. Yeah, that's better. Oh, hey, I'm not doing well. Why is that? Why am I not doing well? At the moment, so we're playing The Long Dark, and we are in the Steam tunnels to play Dungeons and Dragons. But are we just like, what's up? What's up with us? I think we're thirsty. We're also, it seems like, running out of fluids, which is not the best. We'll just have to deal with that. Oh, you're right. Test pattern. Thank you. Hold on. Oh, give me a second. Ooh. Wait. If we're in a test pattern, I need to... there we go. That's what I need to do. Give me 1 second. Oh, you know what I want to do, actually? We have to come back here. I need this one and that one. And then, whoop, boom. There we are. Why do you get to be taller if you have to still be short? This isn't fair. The thing is, DSB, you can be taller too. All you need is a taller chair. That's all. So we are currently, by the way, so we are here. We're in this puzzle where we need to get, and I have to tell you things, where we have to get steam through this entire area to sort of melt the ice so that we can then bring it, because we have to open doors. So we have to get like the steam, all the steam stuff working. But at the moment, I think one of the questions I have is, how do we fix this puzzle, which involves... I'm pretty sure we got to go back there, but I want to just give a quick look-see while we're here. I want to be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala. Ooh, platform shoes. That is true. They've got special shoes for people who are shorter. They're these special lifts. They're these special lifts. By the way, do you think... I remember I turned off some of this stuff here earlier. And, well, it's currently open. We're going to just give it... I feel like we're good, but... Okay. DSB says... DSB, I got you a cookies and cream mochi donut, but you were not there, so you're going to eat it yourself. Wow. You know what? I will just have to suffer. So, all the things I want to talk to you about. Like, I have 1,000 things. And are they exciting things? I don't know. We'll find out. All right, let's see. Quick look to see if there's anything I need to know down here before we go back to our sort of puzzle. But I don't think there is. Yeah. I see you. So, first things first. Last week I was not able to stream because there was this epic problem with OBS that nobody knew what the problem was, and I was able to solve the problem without 100% knowing what that problem was still. Which, is awkward. So this is what happened. I've got I'm now using a Rodecaster with a pod mic, which is right here, rather than my Scarlett with the XLR, with my AT2020, which is right here, but it's not currently on. So I was using that, and I had to go and basically redo my audio settings, just add a couple of things, and I did that. And like the audio flow is a little bit different. So that was like, I had a little couple of things to do. But by the way, so this is open and we're getting some pressure here. This was our part of our puzzle, right? So this is currently in the green zone and it's sending steam. But the thing is, how do we get more steam out? This is our current problem. That we need to figure out how to get more heat. And the problem is one of these things is a little bit broken. So at the moment, this is closed. I'm going to open it, but I don't know right to. I don't think that's going to help us at all, but, Yeah, no computer program like a nebulous one. Yeah, see, look at that right there, right? That is just ruining everything. So that clearly needs to be closed. So this is what the problem was. Normally, Steam does not take up a lot of resources, but something happened, and all of a sudden, Steam was taking up 130% of my CPU and like 85 gigabytes worth of RAM. I do not have 85 gigabytes worth of RAM, which means it was taking virtual RAM, and that was bad. All right, so by the way, this is like full on right here, so this part is all good. We have two pipes here. This one's currently off. This one is currently on, and we've got full energy going here. We've got full energy going here, and right here we start losing some energy because I think this is a bit loose, but I don't think I can actually repair it, which then when we come down here, this means we're not getting full energy to this pipe. So the ability to, when we need to get full on. Now, I remember last time what I did was I, instead of going up and around, I went down this bottom pipe, which is, you might think it would be better, but I actually think it isn't. But let's just go back and redo that bottom that bottom way so we can see how it goes. Steam was being awful greedy. Yes. So I was trying to figure out why it was, right? Like what was going on. So I did a bunch of stuff, like I reinstalled everything. I actually erased all of my, I totally reinstalled Stream Deck. So actually, I currently, my Stream Deck has nothing in it, which is not great. See, here's the problem right here, right? This is losing steam, which means we're not getting full steam here either. Now, the thing is, if I opened both, I do not think it'll get us where we want it to be. So I feel like there might be a... Because I have tried multiple routes. See, right here, if you notice this, we don't get full power this way. So if I have all of the valves open, I think it still doesn't give us enough heat to... Right, because that opens up, and this gets us very close. It gets us very close, but still no cigar, right? Like, we are very close, very close. The question is, how do we get that last bit of energy to go through? What is it? What is it? So this is currently with everything. We are really, really close to getting this heated up, but we're not actually there, and I don't know what that's about. Yeah, at the moment I think I do have the top and the bottom open, right? So this is currently, the top is open, and the bottom is also open. So I currently have both the top and the bottom open. When I have the bottom open, we lose too much steam through here. When I have the top only open, we lose too much steam, I think, right about here. When I have them both open, we don't lose a lot of steam. The only problem is we are not yet fully... what happens if I open this? It shouldn't actually help us at all. It should make things worse, but we can check. Right, so this sends a bunch of steam out this way, which then makes everything over here terrible. Like, terrible. So this up here has to be closed. Like, it just has to. Is that far left one supposed to be all the way down like that? Oh yeah, this one, yeah. So this one, that doesn't work. This one here, so we've got steam coming through here. When we sort of split the steam, it's better. It's better. But it is not there yet. So, what do we do about that? Hey, I had a thought. What if I started a fire? Do you think that might be enough? I mean, I don't know if it would be. Cannot start a fire indoors, so I cannot start a fire. I think we need more steam. I'm going to light this, by the way, and we're going to just sort of go around and see if we can find, because for all we know, there might be some other piece that we are missing. We'll think about it. So anyway, it looked like something very bad was happening. So what I had to do was basically wipe and redo everything. Not everything has been redone, and I'm going to have to do that as in general. I should say, I currently am using a slightly different setup than I did when I was playing with Lindy, because if I'm doing Zoom, then I need to break up the audio slightly differently, which is also not the end of the world, but it just changes things a little bit here and there. Anyhow, it was a little bit, I was a little bit later coming in, because this bike ride I have to tell you about, it's really insane. But also, I had to just redo some of these things while I was waiting, which is fine. So yeah, audio things. Oh, I've been also working really hard on, look, there's gotta be a way through all of this, but right now everything is frozen. I just feel like there's probably some part of, there's something we haven't actually explored enough. One of these tunnels has got to give us some joy. So I figure maybe one of these, perhaps. All of these are frozen. Valtio, that's part of what I want to tell you. It's very exciting. Technical stuff aside, here's the control room, which we eventually want to get into. This is also frozen. That's empty. So it looks like the only place we're currently at with that we can mess with, because everything else is frozen, is that one area there. But I'm wondering if there might be something back here that maybe we could get a little bit more juice through this area way back here. Because I remember there was a sort of like a steam area that I think I turned on, then I think I turned it off afterwards. So we're going to go back and see if messing with some of this stuff might help. Because we're just so close. There has got, basically, I just feel like we must have to turn something back on down here, is my thought. So, let me talk to you about my bike rides, which, y'all, you don't know what happened today. What happened today was a thing. Also, our torch is going to go out, which is also fine. It's fine. It's fine. So I finished Hadrian's Wall last week. Hello. What I normally do, I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna drink a soda while we're here. Just get that going. Okay, so my my riding schedule is like so. My goal is to ride 3 days a week, basically Tuesday, Thursday, because I'm teaching Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then one of the weekend days. So like that's my goal. And the kind of schedule I'm doing, which way are we headed? This way. And so I'm basically doing like, this is an example. If I were doing 5 miles Monday, Wednesday, then I would do 10 miles on the weekend day, right? Something like this. So last week I was doing eight and some miles during the week, and then on the weekend I did 17 miles. So I finished up Hadrian's Wall. So it looks to me like we're just gonna test. So basically I finished Hadrian's Wall like in the first 3 miles of that weekend ride, and then I got 13 miles in on the new route that I'm doing, which is the Romantic Road, which goes through southern Germany, which is very exciting. And this is less exciting because this is cold and miserable. And I'm just looking for some steamy situation, which it does not look like I'm going to find out here. By the way, how much... I've got enough wood. Okay, nothing out here for us. We're going back in. That weather's real bad. So, I started the Romantic Road, which is, southern Germany, which is where I lived, which was very exciting. We're also going to do a real... we're going to investigate that one room a little bit better. I don't think there's anything there for us, but we're going to just give it a... We have to be thorough. No, on an actual bicycle. I don't have a Peloton, so an actual bicycle. So, but it's a virtual race. So there's a program. It's a Conqueror Challenge, and they have a program that tracks your miles. You can track your miles when you're riding, and it sort of moves you along the route of the Romantic Road, so you can see where you are at any given moment in this virtual journey. I am okay. It's just that I need to drink some fluids. So it's the Romantic Road, which is very exciting because I lived in southern Germany, so I get to kind of see my old stomping grounds. And they give you a medal at the end, and also you can choose one of 2 different options. Either they will plant 5 trees, 1 tree at every 20% of your journey that you finish, or they will stop 10 plastic bottles from getting into the ocean. And for the Hadrian's Wall, I had trees planted, and for this one, I'm getting plastic taken out of the ocean. So that's sort of what I'm doing. It's every 20% they do one of these things. And I started, and I was very excited, and I'm like, oh, yay, Romantic Road, woo. Now, the Romantic Road, I need to point out, is 268 miles, which the Hadrian's Wall was 90, so this is a much larger distance, a much longer distance to go. And I'm just looking to see if there's anything that we have missed, and it doesn't look like it, which makes me a little sad, to be honest, because if we have not missed something, then we haven't figured out what the trick is. I'm picturing people holding plastic bottles out of repair when they see people complete their challenges. Yeah, that would be, I think that's how it should go. You did not stomp that hard. The mountains are still there. Okay, so by the way, this is currently open. What happens if we close it? If we close it, do you think it might give us enough pressure? That's the only other thing we can interact with that perhaps That will do it. Oh, hey. I feel like maybe the answer is yes. Let's see. Give us some joy. Give us some joy. Oh, no. That was no joy at all. That was bad. So we lost a lot of pressure. Okay. Yeah, that was bad. We don't like that. Let's go back and turn that back on. So, I need to tell you about last week, which led me to some choices for this week, because you have to know what happened. So, last week I was going to do like 8, 8, and 16, but as I was like deciding which rides I was going to do, I did my 8 and 8, and I thought, oh, there's a 16-mile ride, but there's this 17-mile ride, which, if I remember correctly, was like really beautiful because it took me like by this lake and through the Minuteman Trail, and I thought that would be really nice, and I was very excited for it. But because I had done it once before, but the thing that I had not remembered was that I went the wrong direction the last time, and this time I went the correct direction, and going the correct direction meant I was riding up this massive hill that went on for 1,000 years, and it was hard. It was a very, very hard, and it was like miserable. I was like riding uphill. I was like in first gear. It was like really rough. Okay, so here we are. We are just this close. We are this close. Oh, to finish the thought about the audio, by the way, if you need the audio for the game turned up or down, just let me know, because I've got a slider right here. I've got a fader, and I can do that for you. You just let me know, and I got it. So y'all, let's think about this problem. We have looked everywhere. If I extinguish this lantern, will it do it? Oh, clearly not. Clearly not. The downside of the Beyond Hills and Mountains, yeah. So, y'all, what are your thoughts about this? How are we going to get this to? We are just like a few bits and bobs away from. What if? Okay, what if? Here's a thought. What if we close this, and then maybe it'll build up a lot of tension, and it's not building up a lot of tension. I just thought that maybe if we like built up all this tension, that we could let it go, and then it would just like zoom through, and then it would open it up for us. It doesn't look like it did. Is this one of those puzzles where you need to get the pressure to a certain number and over it? We have to just get it to the green area, right? So this is in order for it to go and start melting things, we need to get that into the green, and it is just under the green. And this is so far the closest, this configuration is the closest we've gotten to our goal. So if we open that one, it loses all the steam, we don't get anything. This one here has to be open, and by the way, we have like full power here. This one has to be open in order to get the steam here. When we have only the bottom going, then we lose too much steam through this little cap that's loose here. And I will note, I cannot do anything with this cap. When we have only the top area, it has too much pressure and it loses steam here, and we don't get enough down there. The closest we've gotten is by having both of these open. And that gets us very close, but not close enough. But maybe if it goes over, it trips the safety, shuts everything off. But at the moment, nothing is over. I mean, because here's the thing, we can shut this one down. So basically, I've tried every single configuration of, right? So we lose all of our pressure there. And here, not, like we just lose a lot of pressure there. And if we shut down, so I'll show you all the configurations. So that was currently both top and bottom. If we only have the bottom go, so then we've still got full pressure here. And we lose all this steam here. That's full pressure there. But this is not enough, right? And if you notice, right, we are farther away from the green here. So that's if we go bottom only. If we open this at all, we just basically lose all the pressure coming down. Right, so here we have, right, this just loses all of its pressure. We're not getting really anything coming through here at all. So this has to be shut, or else we're not going to get any steam coming through. So currently, if we have the top closed and the bottom open, we lose too much steam here and we don't get enough energy. If we close the bottom, nothing's going through at all because it's all completely shut down. If we do the top, yeah, everything open is where we were at before. So we get full pressure here, but, oh, this is currently closed. Pardon me, let me open that up for you so you can see. But then we get pretty decent here. That's pretty decent. And then if we, and this is currently open, but we're losing basically a little bit too much steam, it looks like. And we, again, are even further from that green, right? So, stand up. Stand up. So, with just this side open, we're close but no cigar. So if we open everything, which is where we were before, of course keeping that one there shut, if we open everything, we don't lose steam there, right? Basically we're not losing any steam, and we get the closest we can get. That's the closest I've seen so far getting to our green, but we're not there. Let's see. This is open. Whoop. And this is open, right? So right now we have we have all of them open, right? So this is currently everything open, and we are closest that we can get. We've gotten so far with getting this there, but we aren't there. So that's my question. How do we get... This has to be closed. This has to be open. Yeah. If we change the bottom left... Yeah, if we change the bottom left here, we just shut off all the steam and we don't get anything. So this one has to be open to get the steam to these things at all. If we close the bottom left to stop steam coming from there, which is what we had, everything is now going through the top. So everything comes through here. We've got like full steam there, but we start losing steam here. And over here, we are not as close. Like we're just not as close to the green when we go only through the top. I think this is because we have to be losing steam like here. Like I feel like we lose it in that seal, but I cannot fix any of these seals. I don't have an option to do that. So we have full steam here. We lose some steam here. When we get down here, it's just not enough. What if you turn that back one on and turn the one and turn off? Yeah. So this is what we're seeing right now is what happens when we have only the top going. When we have only the bottom going, we lose all the steam through that loose cap. Right, so now this is off. Right, this is closed. This is open, and we've got some steaming coming out through there, which is interesting. I assume it must be coming from... And this is what bottom looks like. So bottom... Oh, hey, we got it. It looks like what we needed was to get a little bit of that up there. Nice, everyone. Nice. Okay. Yes. We got it. So now we're back here. Hello, everybody. Let us open this steam pipe. So good. Permutation. Would have swarmed. Yeah, I thought we did too, right? So, right, this is on. And this steam pipe here is frozen. How are you doing? You're getting some energy, but not a lot. How about if we... Okay, so... We are not... Well, okay, this is doing its thing. Let's see if it does... I do not... Ouch! Ooh, pardon me. Sorry, that was hot. We're going to do this in a crawling kind... Okay, so that's bad. Bad. Cool. Everybody, I got hurt. Let's save. Let's save. Let's save the game. Let's just do that. All right. So what I want to say was I did this like massive. I did this 17-mile ride that was like super rough. If we hug the side, let's see what we get here. So it was like look, what I'm trying to tell you, it was a really rough ride because I had to go up this massive hill that I was like, why is this my life? Okay, I'm seeing you over there. So this week, I thought, oh, by the way, what I'm doing is I'm also increasing my distance, my weekly distance by 10% overall. All right, let's, this is frozen. Okay, so this is frozen. But maybe some of this isn't. Let's head on down there. I know, it's valves. I'm hoping that this will have carried far enough that I might be able to undo a couple other things. Hey, Schmelzer! Okay, so... Okay, this one we can just do. And we've got some of the light on the walls. All right, so... This week I was like, okay, how about if I did 8, 17, so, and I want to increase my distance by about 10% total. So I decided to do like a 9, there was this 11, and then do the same 17 again. But, okay, all right. Okay. What do we have here? Let's, we clearly need to have only one of these going through. Let's, close this one. See what we got. So, this week I did this 9-mile, ride, which was pretty good. And this is open, and this is doing its thing, which that is not going to do it for us. So let's close. This is frozen. So let's close this. And we've got that coming through. This is closed. Let's do that. All right, so, and we might have to do both, but let's try one at a time. Also, I'm going to have to, there we go. We're coming down this way. This is still frozen. This is in a good space. Let's close that one. So, today was my second ride where I was going to do like 11 miles, right? And I thought to myself, this is great, we're doing well. And I thought, you know what? All of my rides take me into Boston, and I'd like to do a ride that doesn't take me into Boston. And so I looked for rides, for maybe something maybe a bit scenic, something pleasant and nice. Like that could be awesome. What is happening here? This is open. Let's close this. So I'm using a program called Strava, which it makes bike routes for people. And so this is closed. Let's open it. So you can like put in a certain number of distance, a certain miles that you want to do, and then it'll like find a route for you. And you can put different, let's see what we have here. Great. Great. Do I actually even need this to, we just go so hot, feeling melt. Nice. Okay, so I'm feeling like this is currently closed. What happens if I open it? So I was like, let me go and do a route that's not paved and see if I can find something that's like, about 11 or so miles that's not paved. And I will do that for today. And then I'll do my 17, that kind of miserable 17 miles, on the weekend. People, I'm glad that I did this ride during the day when there was still light out. It was supposed to be about an hour. It's supposed to be about an hour's ride because it was like only 11 miles. So I thought, okay, it'll be like an hour. It'll be fine. And I started at like 3:30. About 3:30 is when I started, and I thought, okay, it'll be about an hour. I will be done by 4:30, which means I'll be able to go to the post office because usually I don't actually get the stuff from the post office until the day after it's delivered, but I thought I could check to see if this thing that I got from Hawkeye is there. All right, what do we have here? What do we have going on? So we did all of that. This is frozen, but I think this probably comes from this line. So we have to get this other... Okay. Well, here's the thing. There is no steam coming in here at all. So we'll have to figure out... Oh, you know what, though? I think it's fine. I actually think the point of all this is that it's going to start melting this side. So we can come down this way. I think this is our goal. I also am concerned about dying from like heat, but oh dang, y'all, look at all this. Look at all this. We probably have to turn off one, but if we turn off one side, we're gonna save. We're gonna save. I'm a little concerned. We're gonna save. Hey, Other Doc, how are you? You started trying to go for walks on the local greenways. Some are easier on the feet than the others. Oh, so here's the thing. I went on the ride. I hope that if I crawl, I will not be murdered by the steam, because I don't have a lot of health currently. Okay. Okay, it's working. So I go on this ride today that's gonna take us by like the Fellsway. I was like, oh, this is cool. This will be nice, neat. I'm gonna, do this thing. It'll be awesome. And I start on this ride. 11 miles. I should have enough time to get back to go to the post office. It took me an hour and a half to do this ride because what I did not know is that this ride is like, so it's a trail, which is cool, neat. There's a trail, that's awesome. And the trail goes into like it's like uphill in rocks. It's like this, like full of rocks is what I'm trying to tell you. They're like it is a
Come on to my
it
house.
is. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Boop ba doop ba doop boop boop ba doop ba doop boop boop ba doop ba doop boop ba doop ba doop ba doop. Thank you so much, Bonsai Baby. Welcome in, Raiders. What were you streaming? We are petting all the nice. Well, at the moment we're playing Dungeons and Dragons and Steam Tunnels. So this looks good. So we've opened up all of the things. Steam Tunnel excitement. The question is, now that we've done this, we can probably go back. Maybe. Perhaps. Oh, it's so good for the pores. So here I am, like I'm riding up this like, it. I'm very lucky that the bike that I bought is a hybrid bike. So it is it's like a mix between a road bike and a mountain bike. It's somewhere in between. Because I got to tell you, that was I was riding up hills full of rocks, not like little rocks. And at one point in time, there was like a log across the road that I picked my bike up and like step over this log in the middle of the kind of like trail. What I'm trying to tell you was that it was very intense. And hey, I have a question for you. Do you think, just as an experiment, we should turn off this pipe? Let's see what happens if we do. I mean, I don't know what will happen if we do, but that might be useful. Oh, wow. We lose a bunch of heat, which means it probably wasn't a good idea. But I feel like we could just at least see what it does. Because, heck, maybe it'll fix our problem. And if not, we just go back and, I think it's probably a bad idea. Yeah, it was like rock climbing. And I will tell you what, it was very hard. Getting up that hill was not easy. I was super tuckered out. And anything interesting here? No, not yet. Not yet. But actually, I think we probably did what we needed to do. I should probably turn that other thing back on, is what I think. Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that. Okay, that's not bad. I feel like we're in a good space. Although I also feel like I really do need to turn that one valve back on back there, which is behind me in real life, not in the game, but I just, and that's still frozen. Okay. I have thoughts. I don't know if we actually do have to, I don't know. Yeah. E-bikes are heavy. Yeah, I think e-bikes are really heavy. I believe so. I have never ridden an e-bike, but I think it also might depend on the kind of... How do I get through this door? On the kind of e-bike, I feel like there are like slightly different versions of e-bikes. I think there are some that are not that heavy. And so we're going to go back through and turn that thing back on and see if that makes a difference. Because nothing else seems to be... Well, so this door is locked. So we can't get through it. So that's all well and good. This pipe here goes... So we cleared that up, so that's great. Right now we would like to get through this area. We've got to figure out where the steam is going. There are still icicles on that door. That is... Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn on that other thing. So it was like wild. And some of these paths were very unclear. And I was like, why am I in the middle of the woods? And I don't even know what's happening. It was a thing. So basically I was not able to get back in time to go to the post office, which that is life. I'm just going to go tomorrow morning. But here's what I'm thinking, because, and I took I took a picture of one of these paths so you can see what kind of madness I was doing. I will tweet it out. But my thought is that I should probably not do that 17-mile ridiculousness tomorrow because it was also Ridiculous Hill, so it's like I feel like I should probably not do two Ridiculous Hills in a row. So here's what I was thinking, because I wanted to tell you about this thought that I had. I have a goal besides finishing. Oh, I didn't tell you. The Romantic Road is 268 miles, so I have got to get through 268 miles before the snow comes. And if I stay on schedule, I should be able to do it before, like by beginning of December. If my scheduled time works, I should be able to do it before. Okay, so we've got steam happening everywhere. That's full on goodness at the moment. Still can't get through that door. Let's just see. So, right, 268 miles. I should be able to finish it by the beginning of December. So, I should be able to do it before it starts snowing here. The beginning of December being before the snow comes. Well, you know, our snow's been getting a little bit has been coming late. You know. All right, so here's what we got. We have got. Like, I should be done the first week of December, and I don't think it's going to stick. Apparently, we're going to have a very, very bad winter, but it's not supposed to hit, according to the Farmer's Almanac, until the end of December. So, here's hoping. Yeah, winter is late, basically, right? But apparently, it's going to be very bad. It's going to be a bad winter. It's just that it's going to be late. So, I think I'll be good. But I have a goal. And I have a goal and a dream, and I want to tell you about it. So let's see. We need to get steam in here. And this steam, let's follow these pipes. Well, that's not going to help us. This is still frozen. It would be really great, but this is also locked. What do you think we're missing here? We've got steam going both directions. I tried it having steam only going on the one side, this side. We've already tried having steam only going from the other side. So what might we be missing? What kind of ridiculousness? What happens if we reroute the steam up this pipe only? What about that? Might that be interesting? Because that seems to be the only kind of mysteriousness that we might be able to do. So let's try that. Let's try that. So that's closed. This is closed. We've got steam coming this way, down, here. Yes, let's close this. See what happens. We don't know. And then this is open. So we have got steam going mysterious places. We're going to shut this valve. I don't know if I do, because it doesn't. I'm not quite certain I do, and also we have full power going through it, so it already thawed about as much as I think it will. So we are now sending steam hardcore up this pipe, I hope. Now, will that do anything, is our question. Everything back there is open. See, I don't think, because this is we have this coming through. I don't think, well, what happens if we close this? I mean, we'll see what happens. So no steam coming there, which means we're no longer getting steam going back there, which is probably not great. But Steam coming through here. Losing some steam there. This pipe is closed. This one is open. We're getting full power here. Full steam. Full steam. That half steam up there. I don't know where that's heading. Nothing particularly exciting is happening here yet. Nope. That is empty. All right. So currently, this whole steam complex just routes things back to that boiler in the back. So, and you know, we're still getting full steam. No, we're getting no steam right there. So I don't think that is helping us. So I feel like we should probably open this back up again. So that's open. That is closed. That's open. See what happens. So I thought, because I got I was reading an article, because there's a thing that I'm actually planning on doing that I'm going to tell you about right now, which is a surprise. It's not really a surprise. I thought, okay. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so that the problem is that this just shoots steam up there, so we lose steam. That's not going to be all that helpful, I don't think. We'll see. We'll see. And yeah, we don't get enough heat through there, and I think that this is just a waste of steam, so we will close that one again. Ooh. So what I want to do is do a metric century. I thought that besides finishing the romantic road, I'd like to do a metric century. And a metric century, if you don't know, is when you do 100 kilometers in one ride. And I was just reading that you train by increasing your distance. And the website I was reading said that, okay, so this is good. This is good. We have that currently routed to go up there, which I don't think does anything for us. Let's see. Let's see what we can do to maybe boost our output. We have got steam coming here and up through there. Let us try. Probably let's close this one again. I'm going to close that one. Is this another thing where you need it to go two ways? The problem is that I think we lose things up there, but I mean, we can see. We'll see where our energy is going, right? We'll keep this one up. And this is full. This is currently closed. We'll open that up. Which is sending steam there. We'll open this up as well. Okay, we're getting full power there. This we will open up as well. So I want to train to do 100 kilometers, and I was thinking to myself that I probably would not be able to do that before the. By the way, these tunnels, we do not know how to get pipes, how to get heat here yet, right? Because none of these pipes, we do not see where they go. But I've got full power going here, which comes down this way. We've got our lantern. Comes up. Oh,
shit, that's
ouch!
hot.
Sorry about that. Oops. Up and around. Doop 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 doop. Right. Then it comes down this way. How are you doing? What happens if I open you again? We'll just open you again. So they said that when you're, and this is like full good excitement right there. And I do not think this is going to thaw anymore. The question is, how do I get this door open? It looks like it's locked. I feel like this ice here is, what's the word? Aesthetic ice, and I do not think these icicles are going to stop us from opening the door. So how do I... And we are maxed out right here, right? So this is currently super maxed out, so it does not look like we're losing anything here. Well, let's finish our route and trace this, right? Yeah, and it very clearly thawed. Also, by the way, Mackenzie's probably gonna have to go to sleep soon. So, this website that I was reading says that if you want to train for a century, one of the things you should do is like start doing also do some back-to-back rides on the weekend. And they said if you can do 2 30-mile rides back to back, then you're ready for a century. So I thought, okay, this ride that I did today was ridiculous. And also, by the way, we're just tracking these pipes. This one up here. Boop, 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 boop. Instead of doing that 17-mile tomorrow, which would be kind of miserable because I just had such a big, huge ride today, what if I, instead of riding once on the weekend and doing like 17 miles, what if I do twice in the weekend and do 2 10-mile rides? So that's like increase my distance, and then I can like basically alternate between one long ride on the weekend and 2 rides that are half the distance. And I might then be able to not only do the, okay, so this takes us where? I might be like, maybe, I don't know if this is true, but maybe I'll be able to actually do the century before the snows hit. And that could be like the big culmination of my right, so this goes in here and comes down here. This steam pipe valve is open. This one comes down here, right? And comes in here. We're having full pressure here. And then all of that seems to be fed out through this center pipe. Full energy, which comes down here, down that way. And this is the one that brings us to the door. Is there any way we can get more juice? Because that right there looks like it is not completely fully juiced out. But I don't know if this is what's the word? I don't know if this particular valve matters. You know what I mean? It might not be a valve that actually matters. It might just be like a aesthetic valve. But I don't know. And so what I'm going to do is if we're in the middle of the day, you wouldn't even know. I'm going to just eat some of this food that we got. You know? Eat some food. Drink some water. Oh, you know what? I should actually do it out there because I could get water and all of that. I don't have a lot of water left, but I do have things worth calories, so... Yeah, Scabby Neck, yes, the small one does look decorative to me. Can you go around to the left side and see if there's a valve there? This side over here? So this side was the side that we did that whole big long deal with that got the... right, that got that through. Right, so this is where we've got good pressure coming here. And there was no other sort of valves to note on that side. The other side didn't have any valves on it. To ponder. We just had this little... here, let me get a... Oops. Right, so over here, we just have some garbage, but there are no valves here at all. I know you're tired. We're going to get you to sleep. So at the moment, I've looked at all of our sort of possible valves around here, and I did not see anything more than this. This looks like we're cooking with gas. And the whole point of both of these things is to shoot energy down this pipe. And this pipe, it seems like, is the one that goes to the door. And all of the it's not a valve. All of the meters look like they're maxed out. So the question is, we're going to have Mackenzie go to sleep. He's complaining. Right, so this center valve here is currently getting all of the steam. It's all being sort of combined down through this particular valve. Hello, Mobile had some snafus. I try not to send him to his death. And so this particular pipe comes down and hits here, which oh, you know what I have a thought? So what we did was we opened this, right, which thawed out this door. But here's my thought. What happens if we close this valve again with everything going? That would probably send all of the... Hey, no? Something happened, right? No? That should send all of the steam... That door's locked. Right, so this is coming through here. And I feel like if we close this off here, that should send steam up this pipe. I don't know where that goes. It doesn't open this door, but maybe it will open... Maybe it'll do something down there? They need a wording like the wolf one for the steam tunnel design. I know. So I don't know if this will do it, but let's see what we have. This is our only other valve, which is still frozen. So, and this is clearly in a no good space. How's everybody doing? Not you. Steam pipes is what I meant. I mean, you can tell me how you're doing as well. So look, we have full energy. Pure energy. Pure energy. Can you force lock doors? Oh, so sorry about that. I'm so sorry having you keep walking through steam like that. Well, the thing is, I can't look up the answer because I'm in the game. So if you look up the answer, then what could I do? I couldn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? It's just be what happened, you know. I do have all those tools. Or did I drop tools because we're not allowed to have encumbrance? Do I have a crowbar? I do have a crowbar. So I have a crowbar, so if forcing it were a thing, and it says it's locked. So I close this pipe, which doesn't seem to change anything. You know what? I wonder where this goes. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go down here. This is the only place... We've been here before. Let's just see. We've got steam coming through here. Hey, let's test an experiment. If I open this, do we get steam? What do our meters look like back there? Because this could be... It's a lot of... Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going on. What's our meter like over here? Our meter is still full. So, I don't think we should shut that valve down, but I will try it. Long, dark steam pipes on DuckDuckGo turns up pipes for smoking greenery. Well, that does not surprise me. Let me try this and just see what happens. All right, so that's down. Now, I suspect this will turn everything off. Or maybe it won't. Yeah, so let's turn that back on. Let's just see what happens. And how are you doing? How's your power? Power's not great. Power is not great. So I think we need that back on. I think we need it back on. All right. And with that back up to full, I suspect this is going to go back up to full, and it does. So we need everything we need right now seems to be going on. Here's what we're going to do at the moment. We're going to start a fire and then make some water. Great. And then we will like eat, drink, sleep, have a giveaway, and you'll tell me things about how to get this thing going.
Come on to my house.
Esteni! Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Hey, how are you, Esteni? What were you up to? How's it been going? Tell me all the things that you were streaming, and also, Bonsai Baby, did you tell me what you were streaming as well? Because I feel like you should if you haven't done. Also, we're going to eat food, like maybe some dusty condensed milk. Nice house. Is that I don't know if the fire barrel is to code. I have some concerns. There are a number of things about this place that do not seem to be to code and also seem to be bad. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels like there's a lot of badness is all I'm saying. And let's take it.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
You know, maybe you should stop complaining. I have done very well by you recently by not making you, super over-encumbered. All right, we're going to go and have him go to sleep because he's a little whiny. He's a little like, why don't you let me sleep ever? And I was like, why are you so weak? All right, middle of the day sleeping, 7 hours. Chilling the Stardew Day. Nice. Next time you decide to squat in the ruins of a civilization, you might want to think about getting a home inspection. Right? I worry sometimes a little bit about what's happening here. Let me just, we should probably sleep like maybe 2 more hours. Ostrich does not complain as much. He complains all the time. He is such a whiner. And she never complained. And she just, I'm just going to note that she seems to be much more, and I feed him. I do so much for him. Do you know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. I do so much for him. Mackenzie really has to complain about things he can't control. Like, come on, dude, we're trying to. I know! This is what I'm saying. Like, you're in the middle of a blizzard, in the middle of misery. Like, there's only so much we can do. Maybe complain less about things that we cannot control, is all I'm saying. At the moment, we are trying to get ourselves all... See how I'm very nice to him. I try to get him all fed and, he just complains. Apparently, there's a bug that prevents that door from being opened, even though it's thawed. And it's possible if you save and reload that it will be open. Oh. Interesting. Okay. In that case, let's drink all the water. And let's just note... Oops, pardon me. Look, I mean, like, his encumbrance is not that bad. It's been worse. For heaven's sakes, I mean, like, he could just, like, relax a bit. Let's save. Save. So you think it might be the bug? Perhaps. He has no control over how much he carries. That is true. Let me... Oops. Ooh. I'm telling you something, everybody. This is so awkward. This is the moment where I wish my Steam Stream Deck was still functioning. But it is currently not. Give me a second. Here. You know what I might be able to do? I might be able to... let's just do... looking at stream, I just need... 2 scenes. I want... well, not that one. For heaven's sakes, delete. If I can just do this thing. Oh, hey, by the way, while we're chatting, we're going to do a giveaway. Just make sure you say something in the chat, and then you will be eligible for the giveaway. Anything you want. Scene. Boom. And let's see if this will get us a little bit of joy. Collection. Please launch the... No, this is not it. Delete. Because I feel like if we maybe relaunch... What is this? This is not what I'm using. I'm looking for... That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. This, I hope, will do it for us. Great. And then this here will be that. And I think this will make it a little bit easier for us in the interim as we're still dealing with the aftermath of some sort of terrible RAM situation. All right. We're going to quit out because we did save, if I remember correctly. And quit, confirm, and then we'll come back in. If he maybe stopped complaining, started walking, for heaven's sakes. All right, and also while we're here, I believe in Steam you have the ability to manage. Let's see, properties. Isn't there like a rebuild you can do perhaps, or verify integrity of game files? That's what I'm doing. And nobody expected. Oh man, Golden WH. It was a Rampocalypse. It was ridiculous. It was inappropriate. I didn't like it. So the game that we're giving away, by the way, is Hello Neighbor and Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which is an indie adventure strategy game. And, you say something, I'm going to give you a key. That is what we're going to do. And so let me think. So we're going to save and reload after we verify these files, because I feel like verifying files is probably a good idea. I hope it's going to be okay. I've got it, but it's a pretty fun game to watch. Someone's... Oh, is it really? It's a PC only, and I'm on a Mac, and so I have the humble monthly bundle, and any games that are PC only, I then just give them away because I like giving things away. Do you want a link to the solution to look at later? Sure. If you give it to me right now, I can put it up in a tab. But I feel like maybe we actually did it. No. Donal said that maybe what's going on is that there's a bug. That he says that there's a bug that sometimes prevents the door from opening, even though it's thawed. But if you save and then reload, that might fix it. So we are currently... I just quit out of the game, and I'm just because I knew that you could, I'm verifying the integrity of the files, and then we're going to reload it. And while we're doing that, we're going to do our giveaway of Hello Neighbor and Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, which is, that's what we're going to do. Have I told you all the things I want to tell you? I told you about this ridiculous. Ridiculous. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can show you this while we're waiting for the verification to finish. Let's see. Do these photos look at all decent, or do they look terrible? Let's see. Because I think I might be able to just drop this in, and then you could see it. That doesn't look nearly as dramatic as it actually was. Here, I've got one for you. This one I think is probably pretty decent. Here, I'm gonna drop a photo off in OBS so that you can see it while we're waiting for these files to finish validating. Boom, one. And then this one here, I think, should go. All right, I'm going to drop this right here so you can see it while we're validating. Ooh, thank you. Copy link. Rissa, from what you saw, were we there? Is my question. All right, so first off, I think I can just drop this in and I can show it to you. Let's put this here. Whoop. Hold on. Whoop. 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 So this here was like this path that I was trying to bike ride up. Lots of stones. It was actually much steeper than it looks. Yes, it was a much steeper path than it looked, and it was not easy. It was sort of the worst. That was terrible. But I mean, I got it. I went through it. Yeah, I don't know why there's a person there who's being a creeper. And this was also another part of the path that I was bike riding on, desperately bike riding on. Just let me get it here. Transform. Fit to screen. Oh, let's make that a little bit bigger. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so there I was riding along, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a big felled tree just across the way that I need to go. How awesome is that? Anyway, it was an epic, epic bike ride today. I cannot even tell you how epic that was. And my legs are tired. Okay, all of the files have been validated, so we're going to restart and see how this goes. Did I bust through the tree like the Kool-Aid Man? I wish. No, I just picked up my bike and climbed over the tree is what I did. Yeah, there are a lot of valves that you have to deal with in a certain order. The page gives a map, but for my vision, I can't make out much of where you are when you aren't carrying a light. That log is definitely... It was an impediment to smooth biking. I like that somebody cut up some of it, I know, but not even all of it. It was, like, very intense. And there was moments where I was like, I don't even know where I am right now. Like, I figured it out, but it was a very intense bike ride today. And it was like, look, it's like 11 miles, really easy. It's supposed to be just an hour. We're going to be great. And then I didn't realize that they were sending me off into the tundra, which they did. But we're going to find out, by the way, who is our winner of our giveaway. Skebanek. Skebanek. Hey, Skebanek. Scabinak. Congratulations. You have gotten our giveaway. And, okay. All right. Hold on. If Scabinak will not play it and just won something, then Golden WH, it is you. Wait, no, you already have it. You just said you did. You did. You said you had it. And so then it can't. Yes. Many a place in New England looks like an entirely different place from a different angle, so I don't even judge you for not knowing where you were sometimes. Right? And also some of these paths were pretty in the middle of nowhere. Like, I mean, I was like not that far from civilization. I was just by like a cool reservoir. But like some of those bike paths, I was like, this is like not even really a bike path. I think I'm just in the woods. Rissa! Hey, Rissa. I'm going to send this to you right now. I'm going to send you a message. Congratulations, Rissa, one of our like lovely mods. You are it. Let's see. Boom. In. Great. Awesome. Okay. Golden. Everybody. Tag your Nipsey Russell. Okay, let's hope that if this were a bug... Hey. Awesome. Great.
That seemed to work.
It was a bug. It was a bug. It was a bug. Hey, Donal, I would like to thank you for letting us know that we had a bug situation going on, like some sort of terrible cockroach, perhaps. And so I would like to note, for the record, this means that we did it right. We did it right without even looking it up. Donal, thank you. All right, so this is our big pipe. Heads this way into this situation. This is open. What do we have here? We're probably gonna need. You know what I didn't do? Because we slept. I did not get more torches, but that's okay. We will hit this for the moment. Oops. Yes. Okay, what do we have here? We have steam coming in to this box. This valve being open. We're not getting any joy at the moment. Although we're getting some joy. We're getting also work gloves, because who does not want work gloves? What else do we have here? We have, ooh, hey, loot. Loot, everybody. And what is another bug hunt? Suddenly we're in aliens. Keeps, hey, do you think, I should not even say that, but do you think alien eggs would be delicious? So let me just place this for the moment so that we can open these lockers. Although, hey Prax, how are you? Ooh, this I think will be good because I think we need more. What we really need, to be honest, is like a jacket, but we'll take what we can get at the moment. Imagine if you have to cook an alien eggs, same as regular chicken eggs. That's probably true. But they're probably still edible.
Plant fuel could be useful.
I wonder what alien eggs, xenomorph eggs taste like. I wonder if they're bad. By the way, we're doing like just kind of like a look-see around the area to see what we got here. Okay, that's clearly going to be a place we need to go down, but we don't have to do that at the moment. You know when you see like a place in a game and you're like, yep, that's a... It's like when you're playing one of the old Infocom games and they say, you find a piece of... you find like a paper clip. And if you find a paper clip in an Infocom game, you need that paper clip. You don't know what you're going to need it for, but you're going to need it. That is just a true statement. What happens if we close this? I don't think you want to eat xenomorph eggs because that's going to end up with a xenomorph popping out of your stomach and no one wants that. Oh, okay, good. I suppose that's true. Or it says they taste terrible, but oddly not because they're alien eggs. Apparently the bigger the egg, the worse they taste, which is why not many people like ostrich eggs. Oh, Oricus, that is an amazing answer. I love that your answer is, it's not because they're aliens, it's because the eggs are too big. And I just need you to know how much I love that answer. We're following this pipe. And, yep, we're going down the tunnel. See where it takes us. And Intro says, yeah, Chekhov's paperclip. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you know. You're playing one of these games, and they're like, here's a paperclip. And you're like, oh, cool. Why do I need a paperclip? And then it turns out you need the paperclip because 14,000 moments later, you need to add the paperclip and put it next to the chewing gum, and then with the chewing gum and the paperclip together, then you're able to go and do this one thing that will give you the candy cane, which then, once you have the candy cane, you can then open the door. That's how they do it. But goose eggs taste much better than chicken eggs and are twice the size. I wonder if it has to do with like concentration of flavor or taste. Do you know what I mean? All right, so we're here. Hot steam. I did notice. Well, okay, this seems like it's gonna be a problem. if we can just like scoot by. Ah, great. I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. Oh, hey, look at this. We still are getting lots of energy. Interesting. Suddenly curious about goose eggs. I mean, not that you know when you get like you knock your noggin, it's called a goose egg. Yeah. Hey, Artie Snack, how are you? How are you? You're just trying to sell some non-jumbo eggs in the supermarket. I'm on to you. Ignore the fact that quail eggs are my favorite eggs. Oh, I've never had quail eggs. Artie Snack, it's good to see you. I remember I had to reset from start because I ate the candy cane. You know, Golden. When stuck, try yeah. Intermorphic, this is it. You're like, well, I have no idea. I'm like, well, what happens if I put the flower on the book? And then it's always some weird random thing. You don't know why putting the flower on the book actually helps you out in that moment, but it did. I found it, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I think what I want to say is, I was not as excited about that process as maybe...
Hope I can still eat this.
Okay. I actually thought trying to figure out how to, like, what to combine in what order, that seemed fun. What seemed less fun was when you were playing one of those text-based games, and you'd say something like, open the door, and they'd say, I don't see a door here. And you're like, turn the handle. And you're like, I don't know what you want to turn the handle on. And you're like, turn the handle on the door. And they're like, oh, I can't do that. And you're like, turn the handle on the north door. And then that worked. I found that frustrating. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, because that wasn't about solving a puzzle, unless the puzzle was what word combination will allow you to open the door, which, you know, that could be a frustrating experience for me. They make wonderful hot bars. Oh, buy all the small eggs, duck eggs, especially because duckers. Duck eggs are delicious, not too bad. Or a cheese sandwich back in the day. Of course, caviar is the most expensive eggs and the smallest. I've never had caviar. Does caviar taste good or does it taste bad? What does it taste like? Are these stones or are these, nothing? Okay. Look, y'all. I hope we can solve this problem. What do they taste like? What does caviar taste like? Does it like... I wonder. Also, well, I mean, we are moving and grooving. Also, do we actually really need our lantern? See, I don't think we need this lantern. I think we're just wasting lantern oil at the moment. Okay, well, now it's actually kind of dark. The minute you put away the lantern, then you sort of need it again. Why is that my life? Super salty, maybe? Yeah, I think so. I remember seeing a YouTube video on making food and someone dehydrating a duck egg using salt and grated it over ramen. It looked very good. Oh. Hello. Stuff. I believe we have tools. Is this correct? Or do we not have tools? Hold on. Do we have a toolbox? Do we have a toolbox? I don't think we have a toolbox. I think we left a toolbox because people don't want us carrying. People apparently don't want us carrying all this stuff all the time, which I don't really understand that, but we don't have a toolbox. And so we're going to pick that up and we're going to take it with us. And I realize that our encumbrance is questionable at the moment. Heavy hammer. What does that do? I don't know. Let's take it. Look, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, what is your encumbrance right now? Is it ridiculous? Why are you doing this? Look, we're going to just, we're going to make it better. We can still move. And we'll just, you know, look, it'll be fine. We'll just do a quick look-see. And look, we left all of our really good stuff. Oh, hey, it's the control room. Sweet. We are probably thawing it out, but this looks like a problem. I feel like we should be able to use our tools to, like, just bust it open. Here, let me place this for a moment and see if that gives us a option. No? Come on. Open the door. I have thoughts and feelings about this, everybody. This is... Oh, wait. Maybe we don't even need to get into the control room. Wait. Is this the way we came in? Okay. You know what? Trust the process. We're going to just trust this process. And we're going to assume that... why can we not pick this up? This is suspicious and mysterious, everyone. We should be able to pick up our lantern. But we are not able to do so, so I suspect shenanigans. We're gonna save. We're just gonna save at the moment, just because I suspect shenanigans. Also, I feel like there's more things I wanted to tell you. While we're here, I'm just gonna real quick see if there's anything we can do in terms of like repair. We don't have things we need to repair. What is this? This is a cotton scarf. I can't imagine the scarf is, well, I don't know. I don't know. Let's harvest. While we're doing that, I'm going to find out what chat has to say. Ooh, it's a bit salty. Tastes like fishy salt. Also, we're going to just repair this to see if it's actually better or not better. We'll find out. But the more expensive the caviar, the larger the eggs, and yes, it pretty much just tastes salty. Oh, well then, what's the point of that? It is dark. I might be eaten by a grue. This does happen. I have been too often eaten by grues, so this is not as warm. Yeah, this is just not as good. We're harvesting it. Bit of a waste, but there we go. Give me a cracker, and I'll try you some caviar, but I don't think I'd be chill eating it as is. Yeah, look, I don't have I need an outer jacket. I just want to share that with you. We have some shirts. They all look pretty good. Oh, I wonder what's better, the sweatshirt or the wool shirt? I bet this wool shirt is better. So let us repair it. Hit the padlock with the heavy hammer. I would like to, but I feel like I might have a bug. So the sweatshirt is better for wind chill, but this seems to be, generally speaking, much better. So let's take care of that. Oh, you know, I do have a hammer, and if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. I might also hammer in the evening, all over this land. These are not as good. I've basically been told that the best way to eat caviar is on crackers with creme fraiche, which is like sour cream, and some kind of shallot green onion, and I tried it, and it was not satisfying. That's fair. Also, we're just gonna go and try to repair something if we can. We've got work pants and combat pants, and these are jeans. And I do not think that jeans are good. I mean, I like jeans. I just don't think they're, you know, good. And then let's harvest that. How gruesome. Is being eaten by a grue better or worse than being eaten by a bear? This is a good question. And I do not know the answer to that question. Also, we're going to repair our ear wrap. I want you to know that what you're seeing me do right now is lower my inventory. I just want you to know that is what we're seeing. And I understand that it's kind of heavy, but we're gonna... Why do I have Okay, hold on a second. I have 2 bedrolls, and we do not need that. We're gonna just harvest that, because we just don't need 2 bedrolls. Come on, that's ridiculous. What is that about? Yeah. It's a hammer of justice. Yeah. You can't interact with Leonard, but then, yeah, I wonder if the area's a bit buggy. Yeah. Dad bod thing bears for straight girls. You know what, Velvas? That's actually quite clever. I think that is, I think that's good. Let's action this and harvest. We're going to just clear up our inventory a little bit, and then we're clearly going to have to eat and also drink. Get rid of everything that's ruined. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm a, what are you calling it? Oh, and we do not need both of those. And we can then just harvest that. And I'm feeling really good about my life right now. And we will just eat. Look, we are taking care of ourselves at the moment. Let us... Here. I just want to see what needs to be repaired. I think we're... I mean, I wish we had some... There are things we could have that we do not have, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We are going to... Oh, our lantern went out. Ooh, not great. Not great. Not great. We're going to eat some maple syrup while I catch up on chat. I've been called a bear before. Hey. And bunch of water. How are we doing with our sleepy time? We seem to be pretty decent. Okay, I think that maybe we're bugged. This is what I think. I'm not certain. I cannot tell you, cannot confirm or deny. But let us really quickly see if we can pick up our lantern. Because here is our lantern, and we are not able to interact with it at all. So I do think we might be bugged. So I am going to take us here. We're going to pop out and come back in again. Because weird. I was catching salmon with your hands in a mountain stream, but... Volpez. You make me laugh. Quit the game. Confirm. Because it was weird. The minute we put down the, feels like that was a bit of an issue. All right, and then we're going to just bring it back up again. Oh, what are the things I wanted to talk to you about? Oh, so I played the Zone before, and I was successful in doing so, and it was great. But I just found out, but I had an idea, and it turns out that there is a means to sort of create a hack of the Zone, sort of like Prax did with StorySynth. And I have an idea for one that I think would be a really fun thing to stream. So I want to go and not this moment, a little bit later, when I have a little bit of extra time, just see if I can put it together. And I think you'd like it. And I would want to have Marcus and Pumpkinberry play. And I've got to keep thinking about it, but people. All right, we're back in. Let's see if we now have the ability to pick up our lantern. We don't. It's bad. There was another lantern somewhere. We can pick up the cans, though. So we can pick up the cans, but we can't pick up the lantern. That is very strange. That's very strange. Also, it does not look like I can use the heavy hammer on this. I cannot interact with this at all, but I can interact with those. So that's some shenanigans, and I do not know if this is a game-breaking badness, or if we can actually just go back the way we came and sort of move around. we'll find out, or somebody will look it up, and then let me know. But if I remember correctly, there was an extra lantern back out the way we came, that I just didn't pick up because I didn't need 2 lanterns, and now maybe I need 2 lanterns, is what I'm saying. That's all. Hey y'all, we're doing our epilogue for Kolos, the Bricktop's Roses, tomorrow night, and I'm really excited. I'm also, I've got like all sorts of feelings about it. I've got a bunch to do before we can do that. I've got to put together and because of the OBS situation, I have to put together a new OBS setup for it and set up, get this Stream Deck working back again. So I've got stuff to do for it, but I am very excited. That's I can't believe we don't have a lantern. Oh, that door is locked by plot armor. Fair enough. Fair enough. So we've done a whole full circle around here, and I don't think there's anything else in this area, which means we are... Hold on. I need... You know what I need? I need my... Okay. We walked this way. I know we came in this way. We came down... This is the way we came in, right over here. So, now that we've done this... Have we opened up something that we didn't realize we did? So this is all good. This is all happening. I feel like we go back and see what there might be to see. Because maybe we have opened up something and then everything will be fine. Oh, you know what? There was a thing, and actually, DSB, you're still here, right? There was a thing I wanted to tell you. Remember we were talking and I wanted to tell you something? I still know what it is I wanted to tell you. And I can tell everybody because I feel like everybody might be interested. And look, let's just take this lantern.
I could use this.
Okay, so we have done all of that. Let's go down here and see what we might get. Like, there might be a thing for us here. The lantern that I could not pick up did have fuel in it. This one, I don't know if it does, but we'll load it up. All right, so here we are in the control room. This is our steam pipe valve, which we can open, which will thaw everything out, which will get us through everything. Yes. Everybody? Everybody. Look at us. I just want to acknowledge how awesome we are as a team. I want to acknowledge it. Yes. Okay. So this is what I want to. I was going to tell DSB this, but it was about crunchiness. But I'm going to tell everybody this now. So, I collect a bunch of. I collect a bunch of game-related stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a thing that I do. Books and articles, and I like to research ways in which people think about games, right? That is a thing that I like to do. And what do we have here? What do we have? Oh, we're just going to break the machine. Yeah, let's do that then. Awesome. Oh, heavy hammer. You know what? I feel like he's working through something right now. I feel like there's... Are we okay? Okay. Because there's a level of aggression going on with him right now that feels like there could be something more going on, is all I'm saying. I feel like he's got some frustrations he needs to work out. And I do not think those frustrations have anything to do with me. And how much I make him carry. So... yes. So, here's what I wanted to tell you. I think this is super interesting. At least, to me. So one of the things, because I'm really interested in like theory, right? GNS and all that business. But there is Robin Laws is a game designer, and he did work with GURPS back in the day, as did Kenneth Haidt, and both Kenneth Haidt and Robin Laws now are part of Pelgrane Press, and they do the Gumshoe stuff. So anyway, Robin Laws, way back when, put out a book called Robin Laws Rules of Game Mastering. And it was put out in Steve Jackson Games Press. And it also sort of categorizes things, but the categorization he was interested in was player types. So he talked about 7 different player types and how to be a good game master to different player types, basically, right, is what he's talking about. GNS, oh no, gets his boxing gloves on. Hey, I think theory's interesting, and I'm interested in as many different theories as I can find. That's like I'm not mellow, but when you want to spend a night by the nice warm steam pipes to get rid of all that frostbite and such, you know what? Here's a question. He's a little tired. What do you think about sleeping here just a little bit? Do you know what I mean? To maybe give ourselves just a little bit of because that's a good point. That's a good point. That maybe we go to sleep just a little bit, just to give ourselves just a little. Come on. Went to read a little. There we go. You figured out the pipes. Yes, it was a bug. It was a bug. It wasn't us. We didn't mess up. It was a bug. All right, let's turn this off, and then let's go to sleep for maybe 4 hours. He's tired again. I know, he's so needy. He was so needy. So, he was talking about player types, but this is not the thing I wanted to share with you. The player types was I remember the player types because that was something interesting. Like, you have the tactician, you have the butt kicker, you have the hold on. Wait. The 7 types were tactician, butt kicker, specialist, storyteller, method actor, casual gamer. I'm missing one. Power gamer. Power gamer, butt kicker, tactician. Power gamer, butt kicker, tactician, storyteller, method actor, casual gamer, and I missed one again. Right? Power gamer, butt kicker, tactician. Oh, specialist. That was one I was missing. Specialist. Right. Specialist. And so he talked about these separate power gamer, butt kicker, tactician, storyteller, method actor, specialist, casual gamer. Those are the 7. And he was talking about these 7 types, what they get out of gaming, what their emotional needs are, right? What their needs are, what their kicks are, what you can do to help them, right? All that stuff. But this was not the interesting thing. There was another thing that he said that I had forgotten about. I remember the types, but he said this thing it was after that part we were talking about the types, and it was talking about systems to use, what kind of when you're trying to choose a system to play, right, to GM, you're like, oh, I've got these players, what game system should I use? And he gave sort of thoughts about choosing a game system for your players. And he talked about crunchiness, which, of course, he's not using in any kind of value judgment way. He gave a chart. And this chart is very interesting to me in light of how some people think about crunch or not crunch. So it's like a chart with it's a continuum. It's like a continuum, a line of more crunchy to less crunchy and more specific to less specific. And he says that rules light, not specific games favor the GM, whereas more specific rules with more crunch favor the player. And I think this is very interesting because a lot of the discourse on Twitter is that, oh, for new players, you don't want crunchy games. You want like really open indie games that are just like kind of open and vague because that's like better for newer players. And that's actually just that's better overall. And I think that people sort of tend to associate like the kind of the classic crunchy game that you remember about like the D&D as like a big GM thing. But he was actually saying the opposite, right? That the more vague and the more open and the less detail your rules have, the more it favors the GM and the other way. So it's like he's saying the exact opposite. And of course, thinking about it, it makes sense the way he's thinking about it, because if the rules are vague and there are not many of them, that gives a lot more power to the GM to decide what is happening or what is not happening. If the rules are specific and also present, then there's less GM adjudication, so that then favors the players because they have very clear guidelines about what they can and cannot do, et cetera, et cetera. You can't rules or the GM if there aren't rules for climbing. Country is very crunchy. Or River Trinity, yeah. Golden, who is the GM? It's interesting because Robin Laws's book is not interested in typifying GMs, right? Some theories are interested in deciding the different types of GMs, although there's not as much GNS you can do some of that with, right? But a lot of the theory, I mean, if you go back to the old days, we only had like 2 GMs. You had Monty Hall and like killer GMs. You know what I mean? But like I don't think people spend as much time thinking about GMs because a lot of the model is GMs need to be whoever the players need them to be, right? Like there's not a lot of thought given to GM's needs or preferences, because the idea being that the GM should always basically do whatever it is the players want them to do. And I think about this, Robin's laws of good game mastering. The whole point of that book is, as a game master, you should be doing whatever, you should figure out who your players are and then do what it is that will make them happy, right? What you do and what you're about is not actually really important in this model. The model is, well, if your players are butt kickers, then regardless of what you as a GM wants to do, you should be making sure that all of your butt kickers get combat, right? And then, so so people don't really, there are many people who don't really care about the GM's preferences and are suspicious of them, right? They really sort of think that your job is, like, you remember, I don't know if you've heard this, but back in the day, I'd always hear like, if the players are happy, the GM is happy. Like that, like there's a model for that, is what I would say. That the models we have don't tend to be that interested in GM preference. And I think there's a very strong sense that if you're a very good GM, what that means is that you're really good at doing whatever it is that the players will make the players happy. Regardless of your, and I think the most he sort of spoke about in this was an acknowledgement that some GMs are better at some things than others, but he did not say that to say what he said. He said, like, lean into the things you're really good at, but the whole thing about it is about making sure that you as a GM, analyze what your players want, what they enjoy, and then make sure you give it to them. Like, that was really, in many ways, the whole crux. And here's how to do it. It's like a whole sort of like a way to sort of figure out how to best make your players happy, which, cool. I feel like we're not going the right way. Oops. I feel like we need to go this way. And, hello? We no longer have any more of those. We don't have that anymore. Oops. We need to get more torches. Here we go. This is the way we came in. This is the way to go out. I don't remember us opening that door. Do you? That's mysterious. I know that Chad is saying really smart things, and I'm going to find out what you're saying in 2 seconds. I just want to make sure we're in a place where we're not going to be murdered. You know how it is. Black Rock locker key. Nice.
What have we here?
Nice. This is good, everybody. Uh-oh. Sometimes they give us scary music, and that scary music freaks me out. But I sometimes think that scary music is not there for anything scary. It's just like a stinger, like Law and Order. Let's see. And we're talking about separating the GM role and dispersing among the other players. But yeah, if he doesn't define the GM, then it can't really speak to that. Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, I will say, Golden, there are a lot of games that are also vague and not crunchy that also disperse the GM, and that only works when you don't have somebody who's an egomaniac. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have no leadership, I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen games that have no GM and one person is an egomaniac and there aren't any rules to stop them being an egomaniac. It's basically do whatever you want in the game. And I've seen them, I've seen those people, hey, are we at that? I think I know where we are. I've seen them basically steamroll over people, and those people they can't do anything about it because there's no mechanism to stop them from steamrolling everybody. And we are back in the prison. This is exciting. By the way, it was somewhere way over here where we left all of our good gear, and I'm very sad about it. I also don't think we should go back to the prison just yet. I think we should go look at that locker, maybe drop some things off in the locker to pick up later, and then find this person who's lost. I think that's what we should do. And I'm kind of excited about where we're at. I feel like we've been very productive. Yeah, so it's like there's a really interesting article by this 1970s feminist that interestingly discusses this topic. It's not about RPGs, but it's about power. You know, and there's some very interesting things that she talked about. The article, her name was Jo Freeman, and the article was called "The Tyranny of Structurelessness." There's a lot of stuff here that I would love to steal, but I won't just yet. Not just yet. And oh man, come on, wolves. Maybe just don't. Just don't. Could you just not? Would be my question. Wolves. I would love to be able to climb out that window, but I cannot. So we're gonna go back down that way, and I'm gonna catch up on chat and see what y'all are talking about. Oops. Oh, hold on. Wow. I've got to come over here. It's bad, everybody. It's bad. Okay, let's see. DSB says, my personal experience actually fully agrees with that. As an inexperienced RPGer, if there's a lot of crunch that I can dig into, I feel much more comfortable trying things and having a system for learning what I can and can't do. Super open rule systems are the most intimidating thing to me. Yeah. Scabinex says, my job as a GM is to make sure that players have a good time. Yeah, people still say stuff like they do. It's like, and people also say things like GMs are bad. And they're like, there's a lot of like, the relationship towards the GM is a very sort of complicated thing, I think. Max says, I more agree with Seth Skorkovsky. The GM is a player too and should be having a good time as well. Max, I understand that, and I agree with you. However, many people don't. Many people, Golden says, yeah, a lot of discourse doesn't care about the GM self-care. No. Yeah. And Scabby says, yeah, Max, a player happens to have a different role. Correct, but still a player. I like the lantern too. I must have opened the door in my blackout rage. You watched the original Haunting last night, creepy. Oh, it is creepy. So you're not even jogging in New York, so you won't stumble upon a body? Yeah. Oh, thank you. I've got like a half hour. I'm going to probably like try to hide stuff in one of those lockers. Yeah, it's important to make sure that people have the right mix of engagement for their player type. Mm-hmm. Although I have a thought about that, Golden. Wolves, please. The tyranny of choice is how more... the article is called The Tyranny of Structurelessness. Golden, and I will get back. There's no wolves in the steam tunnels. It was warm. I know, we could just stay there. Wolves got to eat too. Fair. A lot of people define RPGs as structureless, but I see it as a structure to be. Absolutely. So the article, The Tyranny of Structurelessness, was about feminist separatist communes, is what it was. And it talked about how a lot, like, there's this idea that, like, hierarchy is bad, structure is bad, it's oppressive. And to be good, feminists, we need to get rid of structure because structure's bad. And we're going to have a collective, but there will be no leaders, right? We'll just be all equals together, having no, like, we don't want that. We don't want that bad. Like, it's bad. We don't want it. It's a negative thing to have, that sort of a thing. And I will note this particular talking point is one I hear in particular parts of TTRPG Twitter all the time. So she said, because she lived in these communes for quite some time, she said, it turns out it wasn't good. She said that in her experience, what ended up happening was that when you have no structure, I wonder where this takes us. When you have no structure, somebody who's very charismatic, oh, these are the steam tunnels. We don't need to be here. Somebody who's very charismatic basically just becomes a dictator. And because there is no structure, there is no way to challenge their power grab, right? That without any leadership or like without any kind of like designated responsibilities, which also ties into the bystander effect, right? That some people are like, well, nobody's in charge, right? So that she was like, in her experience, if you actually need some kind of structure in order to have equality, because otherwise somebody becomes a little bit of a dictator, and there is no mechanism with which to stop that from happening. And I always thought that was very interesting because it's an issue. And she's like, look, this happened all the time. It just happened all the time. And I thought that was very fascinating because it is something that we sometimes don't think about. We don't necessarily think about the value of structure, the ways in which structure can be helpful or useful. And by the way, there are wolves out here, and I'm just a little concerned about that. So if I'm looking a bit concerned, it's because I know that there are wolves out there and they want to murder me in like a very serious way. So I'm just, letting you know that that's what's happening in my mind. And I want to catch up. Okay. What if there are no wolves? No, there's a wolf. There's one right over there. Do you see it? Do you see that wolf right over there on the right? Just don't look at it. And if you can't see it, I don't think it can see you. Okay, hold on. Do I have weapons? I do. Okay. Oh, nope. Close. No. Blood loss. Great. Torn clothing. Ooh, that's bad. Torn clothing is bad.
Gotta stop that bleeding.
I know, but we have to get to a safe space first. Mackenzie, come on now. When did we last save? What is happening in our lives? Why are we dying? Just keep moving. Get to that door. Get to the door. Find out what kind of clothing you lost. Oh, gosh. Okay, hold on. Okay, great. No, this is terrible. No, this is really bad. Okay, sprained wrist. Wait. I have a pistol. Okay. Nope. Leave me alone. Ah! Hey, everybody. We're going to real quickly save. We're going to save right now. We're going to save. This is what's happening. We're saving. And then we're going to deal with blood loss right now. I don't know if I have bandages. Hold on. No, hold on. Give me a second. Do I have any bandages? I do have I have one bandage. Okay, hold on. I'm going to use it on my, oh gosh. Why is this my life? Here. We're going to bandage that. Excuse me for one moment. Do we have cloth? I feel like we might have cloth. Oh gosh. Okay, we're going to make a bandage here. We're going to just craft it. Don't die. Okay, great. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Don't. We died. I'm gonna just go back to that last. Okay, hold on. What's happening? What's happening? Hold on. Wait. Pause. Stop. I don't know what's happening. Give me a second. Gear. I think I'm probably bleeding. Yep. Why is there still a wolf here? Why is that happening? No. 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 Excuse me. I don't know why that one was lurking. It was terrible. We're gonna I'm gonna read chat at the moment as I ponder this. Okay. Whew. Golden says, well, it's not bad to have power, but I'm familiar with the criticism, yeah. But ethical use of power is to use it for the benefit of those giving you the power. Power comes from everywhere. Yeah, and I also think that power in RPGs is actually very different because at any time people can just leave the table. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that GMs have, like, they're not actually dictators. Do you know what I mean? Because you can just always just not play that game. The wolves don't want to murder you. They just want to aggressively snuggle. Very aggressively. Torn clothing is bad. Speaking of TTRPG rulings, we had an interesting discussion last night during my D&D session. You grew up in a flare, but yeah. As a house team would say now, it might be lupus. I think I saved right before I died, so I'm going to have to go back to that last checkpoint, I think. Can you use meta magic feats, twin spell, to use counterspell twice within the same round, since theoretically all actions... Oh! Can you use meta magic feats, twin spell, to use counterspell twice within the same round, since theoretically all action with the round is happening simultaneously? That's a very good question. I mean, I would probably just say yes, because I tend to be nice that way. Ooh, okay. There are two wolves inside of me. They were very hungry. Yeah, let's hit that last checkpoint. Why don't we? We are... Yes, we're going to leave the steam tunnels, and we know where we are, and everything will be fine. Also, why would my clothing be torn? But we also know which way we're headed, so I think we are fine. Not in 5e. So, I mean, there are a lot of people who basically think that GMs are bad. I was in a Discord at one point in time who said that where the members were like, anybody who wants to be a GM is probably a fascist. And you should not trust anyone who is a GM, and any game that has a GM is fundamentally fascist. And if you are a good and ethical person, you would never play a game with a GM. That games with no GMs are fundamentally ethically better than games with GMs. And I was like, well, wow. I should probably never play with you all, is probably what I'm learning. Because that seems like a... I mean, look, I'm not going to spend all the work being a GM and spending all this time figuring out how to make people happy and give them joy if they're going to think that, I don't have the time for that. I do not have the time for that. But, there are people who are in that space, and that just is a person I should probably not play RPGs with. Really, we're going to just make some bandages right now. You know what I mean? Just going to do that while we're here. And we're going to just make a couple more bandages. Just for no reason. Do you know what I mean? For no reason. I do believe all of our clothing... Oh, no, we found it. We found some more stuff. And we're going to wear the better stuff and get rid of the less good stuff just so that we... Wolves. I think... Look, y'all, I think that the deal is that I have to go around the long way, is what I think. Also, I'm way less encumbered than I was before. You should be proud. And we're going to save... Yeah. No, because action is turn-based and abstract, unless you are twin spelling counterspell on a twin spelled spell. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, people can leave, but I see that as a failure state at facilitating. I see what you're saying. I have a thought about this, though. Now, the truth is, everyone who wants to be a GM is a pleasure top. Except you don't need to twin spell counter a twin spell. You can just normal counter. Oh, yeah, yeah. You come in fast in my face, and I just might punch you in the snoot. Oh, I would not punch anyone because that seems like that would just prove their point. Some GMs do run as fascists, but in my experience, it's a small number of GMs. And no one talks about the ways in which there are some pretty awful players who take advantage of those things, right? Yeah, how dare someone take the time to create a world and lead people through it? Ain't nobody gonna tell me my dice roll failed. I've played with some really abusive GMs, but fascist is some loaded assumptions. Yeah, I've played with abusive players, so you know what I mean. And I've played with some abusive GMs, but not many. I find, in my general experience, I find that there are very few abusive GMs or players. There are ill-matched GMs and players, and I feel like we often don't appreciate that maybe the thing is that you just should not be playing together. Maybe nobody's a bad guy. It's just that maybe you're not well matched to each other, which leads to a thing. Personally, as a GM, I step a situation and see how the players handle it. I do a lot of Call of Cthulhu, so there's a great deal of investigation too. Right now, they're in Danger in Dunwater, the second Saltmarsh scenario, in Down Darker Trails. But meanwhile, the journalist has been having strange dreams in a small apartment at night and has asked around and learned that they are of the man who used to own the newspaper. Oh, interesting. Hack says, we initially started at no as well, but as we thought about bridging from turn-based rules to actual progression of time, we began to see the merit to the argument. Then we began to think this was an overpowered application. Yeah, ill-matched, yeah. A man is shoving a newspaper in his face and seems frustrated he doesn't get whatever he's trying to convey. Oh, interesting. Maybe it's time to realize Mac is not Kevin Costner and stop dancing with the wolves. He really should stop dancing with the wolves, yeah. From there, we realized the massive resource investment into twinning a third or higher leveled spell, 3 sorcerer points at the cheapest. Oh, yeah, fair, Axe. Max says, I hope this leads them to the Dreamlands at some point, but haven't completely figured out yet. Golden says, yeah, now I've played with unambiguously abusive GMs. They exist. Oh, yeah, I've played with 1 or 2, yeah. But I don't really categorize people as GM or player, so I don't see how one or the other is more prone to abusive behavior. See, the thing is, GM, Golden, if you believe that fundamentally having a GM is fascist, and having any kind of hierarchy is fascist, then anyone who takes on the GM role is going to be, basically, players cannot be fascist within that or abusive within that model, right? Only the GM can be abusive. Now that, I would say, is a misapplication of understanding critical theory, because they would say it's about power, right? You cannot be an abuser if you don't have power. And since the GM has power and the players have no power, only the GM can be abusive. But I actually don't think that's how power works in an RPG. So I think that's a misapplication of understanding of like analysis of power. But I think there can be abuse in all sorts of different directions. And I certainly have had abusive GMs, but I've also had GMs that some people might call abusive. I don't think were abusive. I think that we were just not well matched, or they didn't have good communication skills. I just watched Coraline, a cat has entered the dreams. Oh. Both GMs and players can be abusive just as much there, absolutely. Carl says, tomorrow night I'm supposed to run what's basically a campaign boss fight for my players. I've been trying to get them to trigger this fight for months. I'm a huge fascist. Players have the power of choice, and also they can do a lot of stuff. Yeah. So it's interesting because I was thinking about this in the sense that I think there's a lot of, I think, and this is one of the problems with the GM's job is to make every player happy, because in this model, we talk a lot about how consent is important, but GM's consent is never considered as important. We talk a lot about what players want and what their joy is, but we don't really talk about what GMs want and what their joy might be. And I think that this sets up a dynamic wherein GMs are expected to do things they do not enjoy or like because it will make the players happy, rather than say, you know what, I don't think this group is the group that I should be GMing for. Do you know what I mean? There's a way. It's like it's a problem with the top in a BDSM. Like there are some people who do not think about tops as maybe being able to need to safe word, right? There's a way in which sometimes people do not give a lot of care and attention to tops because they think, well, they're the top, so they don't need care and attention. You're like, well, but actually, I think kind of maybe everybody needs some care and attention. Yeah. The only mother feels very much like a fey creature. Yeah. I mean, fascist apparently means something very different to some cultures today that I'm familiar with it. So I would really question what they're using the word to do. Yes, me too. I don't think it benefits from trying to reconcile with every other POV. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. I agree completely. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go the long way. Because I feel like the long way is the best way to avoid most of these wolves, is what I'm going to say. Whew. We're gonna go the long way. I refuse to run Tales of Equestria, even for my children, because I only run Grimdark. I don't play or run Hero Bright because personally I don't enjoy it. I'm reminded about, that was Unstable Dios, and Jer says, I'm reminded about some second wave feminism where they say that all straight men are rapists because men have a power to make women. Well, that's McKinnon, and that's not exactly what she said. She said something slightly different, which you could say amounts to the same thing, but I do think the differences are important. What McKinnon argued is that you cannot, and what's really interesting is because her argument is being used right now in ways that people find it very approve of, but in a different context. So she argues you cannot have true consent without equality. That if one person has power over the other person, you cannot actually truly consent. You can't give meaningful true consent if there is if one person has more power than the other. And this argument that you cannot have true consent if one person has more power than the other is currently being used, I believe, by the ACLU to argue that plea deals made when the person who's incarcerated is incarcerated cannot really be. It's not actually an equal situation, so it's not really going to work. And so her argument being, and please remember this was written in the 1970s when it was legal to rape your wife if you were married to her, right? Where marital rape was still legal. Women did not have economic independence, right? They could not get their own credit line without their husband or their father's permission. Women really did not have a lot of legal rights, right? Also, no-fault divorce was not yet a thing, so you could not get out of an abusive marriage unless you could prove in a court of law that somebody had committed a crime. And that meant that a lot of women were stuck in really abusive relationships and were not able to get out of them. So this is a moment where, like, the legal situation for women was very, very different. And so she argues that in this context where women do not have equality, they cannot give true consent to heterosexual sex. Now, I will say that I feel like I have slightly different thoughts about that than she does, but I do think it's important to characterize the argument properly, so that when we're debating it, we are debating it. What are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you in here? You should not be in here at all. There should be no wolf in this place. That is not okay. It is not okay. It's not okay. I'm going to just point out that that was not okay. Also, we're going to save. We're going to save the game. Right. The problem with McKinnon for me is that it sort of runs into like false consciousness, and I feel like that's always pretty irritating when people make those arguments. So, but getting cold. We're gonna have to warm up. Fine. That will take too long to harvest. We're gonna warm up first. Before we harvest. So you know what I mean. We're gonna like. Please stop complaining. We're going to get you inside, and then it will be okay. There's a building right over there with the lockers and everything. You're going to warm up. we'll make some food. Everything will be fine. Like, it's okay. And once we get inside, I'm going to see what chat has to say. Some... Oh, gosh. I know I missed something over there, and I'm going to go. Gotta find it. Like, McKinnon and I are not friends for a lot of reasons, but, you know, I think it's always important to...
It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
Yes, I know. But look, we're here. Everything's fine. I don't think we can cook anything where we're at. I don't think we have a stove here, but we're warming up, and that's important. But we can eat, like, these saltine crackers and get ourselves all topped up and in a not bad way. Also, I need to... Here's what's happening. Y'all, I know you're all saying really interesting things, and I want to know what they are, but in order to do so, because I've missed the chat moment, I have to pop out of the game, and we're so close to the ending
Come in handy.
anyway, that what I'm going to do is get ourselves into like a good save spot, which I think we're doing right now, and then we're going to, you know, call it. Let's leave our hero here. Right? Let's do that. And then we can chat a little bit before we go. Confirm. We were very productive, for the record. And then I'm going to find out what y'all are talking about because I want to have this conversation with you all. It's really good. Okay. Ooh, okay. What about Warhammer 40k Tales of Equestria? For the Empress, long be her mane. Sounded, yes, okay. Content is important for him, absolutely. The GMs are fascists, they rigged the game. Yeah, they're in the walls. How did that one shot kill that wolf, but all the other times, I have no idea. Like, just, oh, I really want to get that pelt, but I need to warm up first. So that is, take some nice bloody wolf meat and skin and bring, yeah. So the locker, this is it. We got it. We got that locker. The locker goes, yes. I feel good about that. So, you know, it's one of those things where I think that sometimes too often people overlay some things like onto an RPG that it's not the best model for it. But I also think it's important to recognize that some people should not play together. And that it's better to put together a group that is compatible than it's like this, right? If you have there are GMs who are really good at like old school gamist dungeon crawls where there are traps everywhere and things are out to get you, and there are players who'll be like, oh my god, that's an abusive GM. But that's not necessarily true. Just that is not a style of game nor a GM for those players. There are players who love that and who want that, and they should come together and be at the table together. Do you know what I mean? And there are, yeah. And so I kind of think about how, and there are players who are storytellers who want to write the story, and they want games that allow them to write the story, not in a in-character way, but in an out-of-character way. And there are GMs who would not be good for them. There are GMs who'd be great for them. And there are games that have no GMs at all, so they can all just sort of write the story the way they want. And that means there's some systems that are good for them and systems that are not so good for them. And there are players to play with, and there are players that are not good to play with in that sort of model. Like, you know, and as Prax says, some people just don't get along, and that's okay. Some people might get along really well as friends, but may not be compatible at the game table. And that's also okay. I had a friend who was able to talk to McKinnon, so I have issues. Yeah, you know, the thing about McKinnon is that she helped bring about, like, sexual harassment law, and that's really important. But, like, that model says a lot. That model works on the idea that she knows more about how you're feeling than you do, and that never works out for me. You know what I mean? Like, that never works out for me. But like, I do think it's important at least to understand the argument, even if that is not an argument that I would make or that I agree with. I think it's important to characterize it fairly, because it's important, you know? As best I can tell, Gygax players absolutely wanted the game he gave them, yes. But to pretend that that's the only game that Strategics is just wrong, yes. Basically, neither the Gygaxian dungeon model nor the GM full story game, neither one of those are the only games that should exist, right? There should be lots of options so that people can find the games that are that make them sing. You know what I mean? That are great for them. My players loved AD&D for years. I grew bored of it, got tired of the constant combats. I love a good combat-centric game, but I don't tend to like it in D&D. D&D's combat mechanics are not that fun for me. There are other games whose combat mechanics are fun for me, and then I will have myself a grand old time playing those games. But D&D's combat mechanics are just not to my taste. Doesn't mean that they're bad. They're just not to my taste. And so I'm not particularly happy in combat-centric D&D games, but I'm happy in combat-centric games in other systems, depending on the system. It depends on how it works. Basically, what is it like? I have things that I enjoy, and combat can be one of those things depending on how combat is implemented. Also, non-combat can be one of those things depending on how that is also implemented. You know. I could ask. I suppose it's not something I ever thought to ask. Golden says, some people love playing with Gygax, some people didn't, but everyone who played with Gygax said he meant well. A game with the son of one of Gygax's players. Do you really unstable? That's so interesting. To be honest, her beliefs are a lot more broad than the argument she gave. That's probably also true, because she probably knew better. You live near Lake Geneva. Really? That's so cool. In the region, yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, and I just think it's really important, even with people that, especially with people you disagree with, to really understand their argument for real in a good faith way, because that's the only way you can actually sort of engage and do good work, I think. Yes, Raidu, in our Amber game, he plays a Severon. That's so cool. That's so cool. I used to work at LGG. I haven't been up there in a while, though. Hope to soon again. How awesome. Yeah, and the thing is, look, it's so interesting. I was thinking about, there's a game that I was looking at. Look, there are some people that I've seen that I would never play a rules light GM-less game with them, or any kind of rules light story heavy game with them at all. Is it because they're D&D players like to kill things? No. Jer will know who I'm talking about. Not the specific person, but the archetype. I played, I was in some muds, some mushes. I was in some mushes. I was in some games, text-based games that have no GM, etc., and some LARPs. And there are some vampire players. They're not exclusive to vampire. There are some players that we would call god modders, and they're not people you want to be playing with if there's no GM to rein them in, because they will just steamroll. Like, oh, they're so unfun to play with. For me personally, because they will just start dictating how the game goes. And I find in really rules light story heavy games, they are really not fun to play with. Not for me, at least, because like, I don't want to play with a Gary Stu who has no checks and balances and is just going to run roughshod over everything. I just don't find that fun. I prefer to play a sort of like a rules light, GM-less or GM full game with people who are better team players, right? Like, and I find the more rules light the game is, the more I want the players to be the more picky I'm about who I play with. I think that's the bait. I mean, I would play D&D with almost anybody because that's a pretty structured game, and for a one-shot, absolutely. I'd pretty much play a D&D with anybody for a one-shot. But for like a really, really sort of story-heavy, intense, rules-light game, I'm very picky who I play with, because there are a bunch of people who I do not want to play with because they are not, for me, fun to play with, because they're like the old god modders from way back in the day, and that's just, for me, just not at all fun. At all. Jared says, I live in St. Paul, so I would not be surprised if I RP'd with people that Arneson played with. Oh, that's so cool. Mush, a multi-user shared. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So, Max, Mushes tended to have a slightly different code base, but also they tend to be a lot more RP heavy. So I was in a Crescent Knights, which was a vampire mush, where like there's almost no combat ever. It was just a huge big world. Everybody was like a lot of talking. So mushes tend to be a bit more RP heavy than muds in my experience. That is one of them. Ooh, there's a player I've run for and played with who doesn't do well without having a good bit of rails laid out for them, but that's not usually what I prefer. It's been awkward before. Yeah. I've had some distressing interpersonal moments. Distressing for me. How picky am I for Call of Cthulhu? That's a good question. It depends on who the GM is. With Call of Cthulhu, it depends on who the GM is. If it's a GM that I trust, that I know can manage a table, I don't care who the players are, right? I'll just jump in and have a great time. If it's a GM that I don't know well, and please note, I'm not, when I say a GM I trust, it's not about whether I trust the GM to be a good or bad person, like whether they do awful things or do good things. It's actually about whether or not they can manage the table, right? It's about table management. Will they be able to step in to make sure that there's nothing sort of, that there's not going to be a player who's problematic? So if it's a GM I trust, then I don't care who the players are, because I know that they'll take care of the table and they'll take care of me as part of the table. If I don't know the GM very well, then I'll probably be GMing. And at that point in time, I'm going to pick, if I'm GMing, then I'm actually quite picky when it comes to my players, but not necessarily, look, when I'm GMing, I'm always picky about who my players are, unless it's like, depending on, there's certain circumstances where I'm less picky. But when it comes to Call of Cthulhu, the pickiness I have is not about are you a good player or a bad player, but what style of Call of Cthulhu player are you? I do not want to have, and I will run a campaign for both styles of players, but I don't want them to mix, right? So like they're the players who are like guns a-blazing, dynamite, explode Cthulhu, go, 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 like big fights. And they're the players who are like, let's be thoughtful and let's like investigate, and like they're the people who want to play Call of Cthulhu as an action game, and there are people who want to play Call of Cthulhu as a horror game, and they do not work well together. And I can run Call of Cthulhu either way, but I tend to make sure that if I'm going to invite people to the table, that I have that basically they're going to be playing the same game. And if somebody wants an action game and it's all horror and investigation, and they'll be unhappy, and or vice versa. So I just try to make sure that when I put the group together, that the group comes together, that they're wanting to play the same game, right? And that's, for me, part of my responsibility as a GM is about making sure that the table fit works. And I want to make sure that the people who are playing are wanting to play the same game, because when they're not wanting to play the same game, it can be rough. It can be rough. Also, it's my time to go soon. Let me see. I want to catch up on chat, though. I believe that rails should be there, but maybe they don't want to ride them. Also, following along with a pre-made adventure is a skill. Oh, following along with a pre-made adventure is a skill in its own right. It's a very difficult skill, and it's a skill that I respect. Godmodders were the worst, says Jer. They tended to be narrativists that wanted their specific story told. Yeah, and they tend to be the star of that story, and it was very frustrating. Max says, I watched someone play an RPG server of Red Dead Redemption 2 with no GM, and it just seemed aimless. I prefer Call of Cthulhu as a horror game, personally. I do too, but I also, there are a lot of players who don't. And also, they're different. There's also, when it comes to GM, I tend to want to know whether the GM is a short Call of Cthulhu GM or a long Call of Cthulhu GM. Are you a GM who pushes players to die or go mad within a couple of sessions, where all of your campaigns are going to, like, basically character longevity is very short? Or are you a GM that has like a longer character longevity? They're
Name
just like
game.
different styles. Ooh, I've got a name game. And I just tend to want to know which one is which, because it makes a difference how I'm going to interact with that, what kind of character I'll make. I could do either one. I just need to know which one I'm doing, because if it's a character that's going to die within 4 sessions, I'm going to make a very different kind of character than one who is not. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just, so as a player, I need to know certain expectations about what style of GM it is, so I can make a character that is appropriate, so that I can play the game that's being offered. And if as a GM, I need to know what the players are about, so I can make sure that incompatible players are not at the same table at the same time. Yeah. Um, I think the aim of the Red Dead Redemption RPG servers is just the interpersonal interactions at each moment. There's not really an in-game. Yeah, it's a very different style of RP. The premise of the game has to be clear and agreed on for sure, absolutely. But the problem is that very often, and Golden, I've said this before. Some people have heard me say it. One thing that D&D did that I think is not a good thing, but also is what makes it popular, is that D&D is structured in such a way that you historically have never had to have those conversations, right? It's like, well, we all know what D&D is. We all know what it's like. And also, just make a first level character or make a third level character. Players often make their characters in absence of each other. The most sort of coordination people might do is like, do we have like a good party balance? Although party balance is sort of a little bit out of fashion at the moment. And the GM has always been expected to just make it work. Like somebody wants to be a paladin and somebody wants to be an assassin. Well, they're in the same party. You got to make it work, right? So there's a way in which the formulaicness of D&D is its strength, and that anybody can just come in and play, right? In that way, because you're like, and it's also really easy to make modules for it because you can assume a party balance that's all good at combat, da 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 da. But it has discouraged a kind of a question, which is, what kind of game are we playing? I don't mean what kind of system, but like, what is the experience that we want? And many people are never encouraged to think about the experience as a topic, right? And it's a kind of like a meta level thinking, which is the one thing I thought was actually very positive about GNS. Like there are many things about GNS that or the whole Forge that can be problematic, but thinking about your goals. Do you have a gamist goal, a nervous goal, a simulationist goal? What are the goals? What kind of game is this that's being offered, and what kind of game do you want out of it? In a bit more of a meta way is something that we're not really encouraged to think about, but it is important because it's much easier to get a game that will be successful if you know what it, and also I think we should be encouraged to think about what we enjoy. Like, what do you enjoy? What kind of GM or player are you? What is the range of things you enjoy? What are to really sort of dig into those things so you can have better conversations, so that we recognize the way in which not all D&D games actually are the same, and not all Call of Cthulhu games are the same. There are different modes of playing, and being able to be more aware of those things will just make it easier for people to be successfully get the things that they want. You know what I mean? Also, Crit Twitch, I'm going to sing for you. Yes. The only Pulp Cthulhu game I ever ran was when I tried an Evil Dead game. Oh. Max, like I'm a long Cthulhu keeper, right? Because some people are short, and that's also fine, but you just need to know. I am going to eat. That's a good way to describe Mush. It's like Red Dead Redemption, but without the graphics. Yeah. Golden says, you don't have the conversations, but it's kind of rolled into what adventure and edition you're playing. Game is narrative. It's a way of thinking about goals of a game, like what a game is made to do, and approaches. It's like how 30 years ago nobody talked about gender politics, but everybody still had really deep identities and had ways to express them. There's a social structure for doing that maybe isn't explicit or free as we'd expect today. 30 years ago was 1990. People talked about gender politics a lot in 1990. Like a lot is what I would say, a whole lot. It just depends on like what circles you were in. And the thing is, we should have had those conversations 40 years ago, because I found myself unhappy in almost all of my D&D games. I was just very unhappy, almost all of them, except for the one with the theater kids that I was playing in, because they were playing a different game than I wanted to play, but we did not talk about it. Do you know what I mean? If we talked about it, I could have figured out, oh, actually I want more like this and like that. So that would have been better. Okay, I'm going to get food. Oh, Max, we'll talk about GNS later. So I gotta go because I'm gonna go and I made some red beans and rice. I'm gonna microwave it and eat it. So here's what's what. I am going to go, but in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm going to in my Discord we'll be watching Critical Role live, but we'll be chatting in my Discord. If you want to chat about what's happening at Critical Role, hang out with us. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern on this channel will be the epilogue for City of Light and Shadow, the Fate French Resistance campaign that I've been running for a while. Saturday, noon, I'll be playing the Outer Worlds. Sunday, 8 p.m. over at Praxagor, the Smophorius channel, Eastern, we'll be playing The Witcher, Roads Home, where I'm playing a pretty arrogant pretty arrogant, entitled druid. Monday at 8:30 p.m. over at Eastern, over at Wandering DM's channel, I will be playing Vampire the Masquerade Montreal by Night, and that's that. The question is, what's happening on the Foxhole next Friday? I believe next Friday will be dark because the players and I will be doing a session 0. Well, one part of a session 0 for the new Traveler campaign that I will be running that will start the Friday after. And the Friday after we'll start with character creation because we're going to do character creation together and live. So those are the places you can find me. And, you can find me on Patreon at Academic Foxhole, where the proceeds go to pay for the casts. And we're going to have 6 players in the epilogue tomorrow. And then you can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, Trooper SJP on YouTube, and also here. And we have a Discord you can join. And this is all the stuff. And we will talk more about these things. And I'm pretty excited. And look, I've got some thoughts and ideas. And I'm very excited for it. And I'm happy to have you all here with me. This is a lovely stream. And I will catch you all on the flip side, but also for Critical Role watching, if you like. Let me go and I'm going to go to our start screen, and then I'm going to switch by hand the text so you'll know what's happening. Okay, everybody. Oh, yeah, travel promos. They're happening. I will see you all shortly. You all are great. I adore you all, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye, everybody.